A very important Supreme Court race is happening in Wisconsin, and Elon Musk is trying to make sure that he comes out on top. Republican Brad Schimel and Democrat Susan Crawford, they are both vying for a seat in what is becoming the most expensive Supreme Court race of the year. Samantha De Forest-Davis, the research director for the Wisconsin Democracy Campaign, reported that independent expenditures in this contest are about 103% higher than what it was at this point during another previous high stakes race in 2023. So this is actually that race made it so that Wisconsin actually had a liberal dominated Supreme Court. Okay, so that was a very, very important race. And now we have another one that could decide if the Supreme Court stays liberal or gets turned over to the Republican Party. So now, look, this Wisconsin Democracy Campaign is saying that spending in this race could reach about $100 million. About 30 million came from independent expenditures, and Elon Musk represents about half of that number. Okay, about $13.2 million spent from groups that are aligned with Elon Musk, funded by Elon Musk. And so that is a lot of money. That is a hell of a lot of money. So now, why? Well, if Schimel wins, the 7-member court will have a conservative majority until at least 2026, where there's another election. If Crawford wins, the court's going to have a liberal majority until at least 2028. So the stakes are huge. Okay, very, very high. And it's going to have impacts on decisions like abortion rights, redistricting, election law, but also is widely considered to be a proxy fight between the two major parties, their donors, and of course, President Donald Trump. Now, Trump, of course, is not on the ballot this time. So the question for Schimel is, if you don't have Trump, then are they going to be able to turn the faithful out? Okay, that's what Republicans and Elon Musk are hoping for. They're like, no, we got to get these people out because we've got to dominate the Supreme Court. Okay, we have to get this court back so that we can take away people's rights, so we can crush labor and make sure that, our donors get everything. On the other side, of course, Democrats are wondering if they can harness some of the anger against the Trump administration, Doge, Elon Musk, in order to turn out that vote as well. And they've got their own billionaires, by the way. Again, everybody's jumping into this race. You got wealthy Democrats that have given money to Crawford, including most recently former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg. I'm generally, look, for the most part, I generally get worried when you get Bloomberg involved, okay? But his group allocated about $600,000 in planned spending. But you know who else got involved? George Soros. He gave $1 million, and now you have $500,000 from billionaire Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. I actually do like J.B. Pritzker. I still don't think billionaires should exist, but just strip him of his billionaire status, and he'd be perfect. He'd be fine, because he's actually a pretty decent governor, okay, from what I've seen, okay? Nonetheless, right, everybody's gotten involved. You got billionaires on both sides, but still, when it comes down to how much influence, how much money has been given, overwhelmingly, it's Elon Musk, okay, that has given the most money. So, that said, where's all that money gotten them at the polls? Well, with less than 2 weeks left before this election, Schimel is trailing Crawford by 48 to 43. So, now, wait a minute. You'd be like, oh, well, thank God. Schimel is losing. Not by much, though. Okay, and again, this is according to polls conducted for Musk's Political Action Committee. Okay, so that poll been released, and you can see that that's not an enormous lead. And by the way, that lead used to be bigger. Thanks to Musk's efforts, Schimel has actually gained about 8 points in the polls. All right. So that said, there's currently a lead. Democrats are hopeful. You already have early voting that is happening in Wisconsin. Okay. Now, the survey conducted by pollster Ryan Tyson indicated that Schimel has an enthusiasm issue with Trump voters. He needs more excitement to turn them out. So he's going to go super ultra MAGA, which he already has. Okay. And so there's that. And they could turn out. That could happen. And if it does, oh shit. Better watch out. Andrew Romero, the group's senior advisor, wrote in a memo that Schimel, in order to win, needs to tout his pro-Trump bona fides and to lean into the messaging that Democrats are, get this, soft on crime. So, number one, be more Trumpy. And secondly, soft on crime Democrats. So I love that narrative, by the way. Democrats, so soft on crime. Wait, are you kidding me? We're talking about a president who is a convicted criminal and has pardoned about 1,600 J6ers, including ones who did violence on and even before January 6th, by the way, as well as some of them who had been involved in sex crimes. Okay, I think that it is Donald Trump that is soft on crime. It's the super BS narrative. Though, to be fair, the fact that Donald Trump is currently not in prison, it does kind of prove that argument in a way. All right. And what do I mean? Well, it turns out that, yes, there are Democrats that are soft on crime, but only when it involves incredibly wealthy and powerful Republicans. In fact, both parties seem to be just fine with that white collar crime. Okay, to be fair. All right. That said, we got a major race here. Elon Musk is out there trying to buy the election, just like he tried to buy and was very successful at the presidential election. He gave $277 million. This guy has got money and he's not afraid to throw it around. Okay. And of course, it's so that he will not be held accountable by the courts. So this is extremely important. And again, I wish I would have covered it a little bit earlier. And it is also, by the way, why I wish we did not have any money in politics. None. Get it all out. For one, Musk wouldn't have been able to buy his way into the White House. I mean, that's a big thing, right? We also might have more progressives in office. Wouldn't that be great? And not only that, but Republicans, one of their big things is, George Soros. They wouldn't be motivated to turn out by the specter of George Soros. Okay? Look, the problem with politics is it's become billionaire versus billionaire. And you know who has more billionaires? The right wing. Those billionaires are far more ideologically motivated. Okay? And a lot of the billionaires that we have on the Democratic side, they're not progressive. Okay? They are for milquetoast, status quo, establishment, pro-corporate policies. Okay? Which a lot of pro-corporate policies tend to run counter to policies that help the working class. Okay? And so that's what we have. Now, that said, this election ultimately is still going to come down to your vote because they haven't eliminated that yet. That said, if this Wisconsin Supreme Court election goes the way that Elon Musk wants it to go, this might help ensure that they're one step closer to making it so that your vote doesn't count. So if you are in Wisconsin, early voting has already started. Turn out and make sure that Elon Musk ends up being the loser. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you become a member on our YouTube page, you become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.